Good morning, South Rock. Welcome to another weekly devotion of the story. Today is talking about week 6, which kind of finishes up Exodus by going through even Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, the giving of the law, the restatement of the law. But the verse that stuck out to me is a verse that sticks out to me every time I read it because I know the importance of it. And that's Deuteronomy 6, 4, and 5. Now, you probably know this and have heard at least part of it, but this is called the Shema. Now, that's a Hebrew word meaning hear, because the Shema starts like this. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. Now, that probably sounds familiar from Jesus' words, but it continues. And these words that I command you today shall be on your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Now, this became the most important verse in Judaism, I would argue, because they literally did this. They began to, more devout Jewish people actually had little boxes on their hands and on their foreheads that they would put scripture in, and that was generally the first one you would put in that box on your hand and on your forehead was the Shema, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. They even say this starting way back in like Jesus' time and before, all the way up to today. They would say this. They say this when they wake up. They say this when they go to bed, and many times in between there. So this is one of the, if not the verse of Judaism. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. But it's also very important for our faith. It's also very important for us to remember. First of all, we are Israel now. We are the new Israel as the church. Jesus says this, Paul says this, John says this in Revelation. We are Israel. We have been grafted into this community. We are now the children of Abraham. That's what it says in Galatians. We are now saved and adopted in. So we are Israel. So when this is said by Moses, when the Shema is stated, we're included. So hear, O church, the Lord is our God, and he is one. He's not a part of a pantheon. He's not a part of a group of idols. He is one God. And we ought to love him with all of our heart, with all of our soul, and with all of our strength. And Jesus includes in that all of our mind as well. And so that's your total being. Everything you do physically, everything you love and like, everything you think about, everything that you spiritually ingest needs to be focused on loving the Lord our God, who is one. And not only that, but we need to remember this when we lay down. We need to remember this when we wake up, when we walk, when we go into our house, when we leave our house, when we do business, everywhere we go, we need to remember to listen to this. Hear, O church, the Lord is our God, and he is one. So today's not really a question day. Today's a day of remembrance. As you go through this week, from this Friday to next Friday, say this verse as much as you can. Memorize it, because it is so important. The Shema, this verse 4 especially. Repeat it every time you can. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Say it over and over again. Remind yourself when somebody cuts you off. Remind you when the kids are driving you nuts. Remember when the pasta boils over. Remember when there's joy. Remember when there's mourning. Remember every time. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Have a great week.